I believe that the target for me, this is a measured move. So if you go from here to here, the target for me is roughly 27.25 now. So I think we have about 75 or $80 of upside between now and the BRICS.
Welcome to the Morning Markets and Metals with Vince Lanci, where each morning Vince brings you the financial and precious metals news to get you ready for your day. And now, here's Vince.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Vince Lanci. Today's market rundown, we'll be discussing a Bank of America mining report that came out a couple weeks ago with some upgrades and some downgrades as well. We'll also be discussing the Taiwan straits geopolitical risk that surfaced last night. And we'll touch on a trade idea for gold that we're implementing. There's the homepage. Here are the markets. The dollar is up 22. 10-year yields are up 4. The S&P 500 is up 15. The VIX is 2053, up 8. Gold is down $1.35 at 26.55, and silver is 31.18, down 34 cents. Mind you, they were a lot lower on the open, ostensibly because disappointing China stimulus, but they have really clawed back. Silver was down almost $1. Copper, 439, down 8 cents. That has not really clawed back. WTI down $1.84, also soft, 74.17. Natural gas, 246, down 2. Bitcoin, 64,900, very strong, up 2,000, 3%. Ethereum, 2540, up 3%, tracking, not benefiting as much as it used to. Palladium down 12 at 1051, and platinum 975 down 9. Grains are all softer by about 40 basis points. My mistake. Soy is 1010 down 4 cents. Corn is 405 down 3 cents, and wheat is essentially unchanged at 609.20. So it remains the strongest commodity in the grains. Taiwan, we'll go Taiwan straits. We'll do the fish hook very quickly, and then we'll get into the mining report. All right. So last night, China started something called Joint Sword 2024B. It's China's third practice blockade of Taiwan since 2022. The report it reportedly began about 5 a.m. Beijing time. For Westerners, it might be hard to understand the stress it causes. Fortunately, we have a contact on the island who gave us some color, some needed color. So from that contact on the island, for perspective, quote, the food self-sufficiency rate in Taiwan is 32%, or roughly 10 days. The entire island goes on power rationing. I'm sorry. In 10 days, the entire island goes on power rationing. So if it lasts 2 weeks, the island has no power and there will not be enough food, and riots could ensue. Now, how long this lasts is part of the game the mainland is playing in response to continued harsh criticisms and tough talk coming out of Taipei, their capital. Now, here are two graphics that you'll see. You'll see this graphic, and the red markings are where the blockade is, or whether it's a real blockade or not is hard to say. But regardless, when you have a blockade up for practice, cargo ships don't come into port. They're not going to risk it. They're going to wait for the blockade to be over, and hopefully the wait is not too long. But that's the point. China, the mainland, has not really made it clear how long it would be. So this is the chart that you will see, and this is the chart that my contact sent me. Now, this chart has 3 different colors there, right? The blue color is the 2022 blockade. The yellow color is the 2024 blockade earlier in the year. And the third one is the current blockade in red. Now, why they have them in different places? Well, their strategy might be evolving. They're also probably mixing it up so people don't know where they actually will do the real blockade if it ever had to happen. But the person at the top, probably a Taipei celebrity, points to the area where that blue square is. There is no red blockade there. And he made it apparent that this time they left the island corners open here and here. The blue, there's no red there, right? So we'll go back to this one, so you see what I mean. There's no red covering this corner or this corner, whereas in previous ones there were. He opined that this is probably the real blockade because they're giving an exit for all the Taipei leadership to just get the hell out of there if they ever were to blockade it for real. So we'll let people get out. We'll let people get out, but we're not going to let any military or defense aircraft get in. So I think that's an interesting chart compared to the ones that have been going around. So our summary here, this practice event effectively stops incoming cargoes while in place. The contact also noted about the TSWE markets. They opened and steeply dropped, but magically the dip was bought and stocks are back to unchanged. So the stock market in Taiwan is used like it is in the US. If the stock market is okay, then there really is no problem, more like a thermometer than an economic indicator. All right, moving on. The news and analysis. So we have plenty of content we put up over the weekend. This one we just put out. If swap dealers aren't selling anymore, who is? That's a CFTC Commitment of Traders report. Analysis and breakdown. That's a long form lecture and discussion for those that are interested in deep dives. The fish hook, that's a trade that we're looking at. And we saw something that we actually explain it in this analysis as well, too. But we saw something that made us very bullish in gold leading up to the BRICS. So to put we'll put a chart up in a second. Founder special, very special founders post there. And the HeartNet bull and bear indicator surges towards sell. That's our HeartNet walkthrough we do every week. We'll do the fish hook example in a second. Data on deck, it's a light week. Retail sales and housing starts will probably be looked at closely, but I don't see a lot that can move the markets. Mind you, famous last words. Bank of America mining. All right, in premium at the bottom, we have a recent report from North American Metals and Mining Division of Bank of America. And, it's hard to find some thorough data on mines together in context. It's such a neglected industry. But Bank of America, bless their hearts, even though they suppress silver, at least they do some good work on miners, and they actually give a lot of love to silver. This one is not about silver per se, but I'll just read a little bit from you. The Bank of America commodities team sees copper rising to 12,000 a ton or 544 a pound in 2026. So that's a year and a third from now, higher than spot. They suggest buy rated Freeport-McMoRan is our top pick. In uranium, no surprise here, Cameco remains our top idea. Despite our near-term constructive view on HRC pricing, commercial metals remains our top pick in steel, given our medium-term preference for long steel production. In precious metals, they continue to favor Agnico and Pan American Silver. Not really much choice if you're going with a major silver producer. It's either Pan American or bust. I don't see how you can go wrong with any silver company that has metal now. Anyway, back to the thing. Exhibit 4, they have a complete rating and PO changes. Exhibit 1 summarizes the PO changes. So it's a very thorough report. And although there's nothing earth-shattering in it, right? Although there's nothing earth-shattering in it, it's worth looking through to see changes in upgrades and downgrades, because you could see within the grid what subcategories of industry they favor and are falling out of favor with them. Anyway, that's pretty much that. That's what we wanted to talk about. The fish hook. Let's talk about the fish hook. The fish hook is a phenomenon that when the market sells off, open interest comes in because long funds are driving the market lower by selling, and the bullion banks are catching those falling knives at prices of their discretion. And although they're not very discreet about it lately, they need to buy these back. And what happens that forms a fish hook is you have a day here where the market goes lower, but the open interest doesn't come in. So the long funds weren't selling. That's because new shorts were getting in, usually CTA types, but sometimes macro discretionary. And these new shorts who all of a sudden get bearish after the market drops $40, sell it here. and they sell it into the waiting hands, the waiting arms of someone who wants to buy, and it's not a bullion bank. The buyer at this point was probably another macro discretionary fund loading up for the BRICS. That day is the day you say, we could be reversing. And when this day happens, you say, we are reversing. And then this happens and this happens. So I believe that the target for me, this is a measured move. So if you go from here to here, the target for me is roughly 27.25 now. So I think we have about $75 or $80 of upside between now and the BRICS. We have $75 or $80 upside means I think we could go up $75 or $80 between now and the BRICS event. And that's 12 days away. That's an aggressive thing to say. Here's the qualifications. If we get above 2670 in spot, I don't think this high will hold. 2685, I don't think it will. So I think we're going to have another rally. The BRICS event itself could be exciting. We make an announcement. The markets rally. It could be disappointing. They don't make an announcement. I think they'll make an announcement that's bullish to commodities, but I don't think the market's going to have too much time to rally. So, for example, they could make an announcement during their hours and gold could go up $70. I could be right. And then by the time we get to the US hours, it could be unchanged. It wouldn't be the first time that has happened. December 3rd, it happened. Trump, it happened. How many times has it happened over the last 5 years where gold has rallied and silver has rallied at night only to be knocked down during Europe and then unchanged in the US? So I believe in the next 3 weeks, sorry about the sniffle there, in the next 3 weeks, if the market does not crack 2605, it's got a very good chance of getting to 2725. And then from there, how long it stays there, we don't know. It could be one of those moments where the powers that be put the lid back on the kettle. Anyway, so that's it. We're taking another look at the markets. Let's take a look at silver as well. Can't ignore silver last night. All right. Here's an explanation. Here's what happened. Silver gaps lower, goes down to 30 spot 70, 30.72 in spot. And this is what I think. The China stimulus, as big as it was what was expected. But the press conference that came out afterwards was really disappointing. It didn't show the we'll do anything it takes mindset that they had showed at the previous one. And I think all the markets took it to be that way, speculatively in China. So the Chinese stock market sold off. And your more speculative players in Asia, Shanghai traders, bank traders that front run their own government, well, they puked. And you saw pukage in silver, you saw pukage in copper, and you saw pukage in gold. And you had the same thing happen. If it's industrial, it gets slammed, right? If it's precious, it gets slammed a little bit and then rallies back. And that's what we're looking at here. So the key is gold didn't stay down because gold is what they're going to buy and gold is what's being bought by central banks. Silver didn't stay down, but it's working its way lower again. Copper just, I believe, stayed down, right? So copper's fully industrial. Sold, nobody wants to buy it. Gold is fully precious. Sold, works its way back down in sympathy. Silver is in between. So if you're a person who wants to play the BRICS, purely play the BRICS, what are you doing? You're buying gold and you're selling copper, right? Or maybe you're buying gold and you're selling silver. These three go hand in hand. The silver-copper relationship is very strong. Copper leads silver on the way down. Gold leads silver on the way up. And then when enough people get short silver, silver leads everyone and just tears it up. to the upside, which I think will happen sometime between now and the end of the year. Okay, I'm Vince. Have a great day.
Well, thanks for watching this morning's Markets and Metals with Vince Lanci. We sure appreciate you tuning in and starting your day with us here. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Please note that this video is not intended as legal licensed financial trading advice and is to be used for informational purposes only. Please contact your financial advisor before making any decisions, and thanks for watching.